Okay, so we're going to start lying down. You could lie on your back, that's okay, but you can lie on your side. You might want to roll your bolster and just have it behind your kneecaps. You've got an eye pillow that you could just pop over, just kind of rest it on the forehead and the eyes. Your blanket could become a little pillow, or it could be a blanket over your body. So have a little check-in with your own temperature. And if at any point you get a bit chilly, let me know. I can turn the heaters up a little bit more, or I can grab you an extra blanket. So if you are new, then welcome to the studio. Welcome to Stretch. I'm Karine. So perhaps taking a deeper breath to begin with, in through the nose, and then just let it out with a 2 more like that. Let your body soften. 1 more. Gently close the lips. You might have a little gap, like a paper thin gap in the lips. See if you can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, or maybe out through that paper thin gap. If they're not there already, we'll bring the hands onto the belly. And just start to become aware of the movement in your body as you breathe. So just your natural breath, if you can. As you breathe in, the belly rises. And as you breathe out, it's like the belly button just draws back to the spine, into the earth. Take a moment just to notice your breath. Be curious about your breath. Are the inhale and exhale the same length? None of these are trick questions, so we're just kind of pondering. Does one feel smoother, deeper? And if you struggle to maintain focus, which many of us do, it's like so much stimulation, then maybe as you breathe in your mind, you might just be whispering in. As you breathe out, you might whisper out. So as best you can, let's maintain that awareness on the breath. I'm going to take 1 minute here. It's absolutely fine and completely normal if your mind drifts away. Just notice that and then come back to the next inhale, reconnect with your breath. Just move awareness away from your breath, bring it in to your body. Perhaps you just take a little scan from the crown of the head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And notice, or you might already know, if there are any areas that feel sensitive. It could be injury, it could be general tiredness, especially at the time of the season and the weather has been kind of dull and you might feel a little bit tired. So the most important thing through the practice is just to maintain this awareness on your breath and on your body. So we're constantly kind of checking in. I'm not holding my breath. I'm not making my breath really short, which creates anxiety and this kind of stress factor. And also, you're going to feel sensation, but it's manageable. It never crosses that threshold into pain. Let's start to bring some movement into the face. So we might just have a wiggle of the jaw, check that we're not clenching the teeth. And then start to roll your head just from side to side, nice and slowly. So we start to work into the neck. Find what you feel is a central point for you. Back of the head is on the earth or maybe on a prop. And just tuck the chin slightly to the chest to open up the top of your spine and the neck. Bring a wiggle to the fingertips and then start to roll through your wrists. And as you roll through the wrist, you might start to take the fingertips up towards the sky, so extending through the arms, and then roll the wrist and bring the arms all the way back down. Let's step the feet onto the earth. Kick your bolster either in towards your bum or to the bottom of your mat. Either is fine. We're planting the feet down onto the ground. As we breathe in, we're just going to lift the heels away from the earth. And then as we breathe out, press the foot back down. So inhale, we're coming onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels down. Just a couple more like that. And then let's go the opposite way. So as you breathe in, press into the heels, lift and splay your toes nice and wide. As you breathe out, press the whole of the foot back down. Take a couple more like that. So simple, but really effective mobility for your feet, making sure our circulation is flowing nicely into the extremities. Plant the feet down. Let's slide them out to the edges of the mat. Let your knees knock inwards. So we're creating this inverted V shape. Release the elbows down onto the earth. If you've got space, you might take the arms a little bit wider. Your upper body is going to stay to the earth. So feel your shoulder blades really kind of grounding into the earth. As you exhale, just let your lower body, so the knees, fall over to the right side of you. So just as far as they'll go without taking your upper body. We're going to spend a few more breaths here. So over time, it might kind of be like the knees drift, or you might have met your point already. Just soften the face and that upper body. Let's bring the knees back to center. The feet are wide, the knees are in once more. Take a breath in. Upper body stays on the earth. As you breathe out, the knees just lull to the left. Bless you. Cough you. So a couple of breaths here. Come back to center, and this is up to you. If your energy is a little bit lower or you have any lower back issues, please roll to your right hand side and just rest on the right side of the body. And you're slowly going to push yourself up to find a seat. The other option is to bring the knees in towards you and just roll up and down. So we'll all find our way into a seat, just nice and slowly. That could be cross legs to begin with. It could be legs extended. So bolster is probably a little bit too high for what we want. But if your knees are quite high or your hips are kind of tilted back, maybe take your blanket or your flat block and just pop it right under the edge of your bum. So you're going to tilt the hips forwards, lift the spine. Let's bring the left hand down to the ground. As we inhale, we're reaching up with the right fingertips. So we're finding space through this side of the body. And as you exhale, coming over to the left. You might close the eyes. Keep the front of the body nice and open. So we're not kind of closing down. We're lifting up. Let's breathe in, travel back to center. As we breathe out, right hand down. Inhale to find space through that left side. Exhale to lean it over just as far as feels comfortable for you. Let's breathe in, come back to center. And as we breathe out, we'll bring the hands onto knees or thighs. As we breathe in here, we tilt the hips forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, gently lift the chin. As we breathe out, we're drawing the belly button in, tucking the chin to the chest. So this is our seated cat and cow position. So just continue like that with your breath. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we just gently close down. Your version, so don't even worry about what mine looks like. Just feel into your own body. Take a couple more. If at any point you need to just pause, either because you're like, oh, that feels really good, I just need that stretch, you could stay there. Or if you need to pause because you feel like, I just need that stopping moment to breathe, then do it. And let's come back to neutral. We're going to take the knees wide, bring the soles of the feet together. So we may want to use our blocks underneath the thighs. We're going to take it into a forward fold, and that will kind of put some pressure on the inner lines of the legs. Hips are tilted forwards because we'll find that we can get more space then to fold forward. So if we tilt the hips back to fold forwards, we're kind of like, ooh. So nice big inhale, hips tilt forwards, chest lifts as you exhale, coming down at the point when it feels right. Just let the head be heavy. If you've got any neck issues or it just feels nicer, get your bolster, pop it on your feet or similar. It's a kind of a diagonal, and you can just rest your head there. So this is not at all about how low we can come down in our fold. And we're going to be here for 2 minutes. So that might seem like, holy shit, that's forever. You don't have to stay in the shape. So if you need to just draw back up, then do that. If you need to bring the legs together, do that. Our stretch class is based on something called Yin Yoga. So it is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum to strength. This is about stretching, flexibility, getting nice and deep into the body, bone, ligament, rather than muscle. So really good combination to more active practices, to running, climbing, cycling. As you breathe in, you might naturally just feel a little bit of lift. Press the bum to the earth. As you breathe out, just let there be softness, even in the jaw and the shoulders and the head. We've got 1 more minute here. You can always come back to that in, out, when you're breathing in and breathing out. Last couple of breaths here. So nice and slowly, let's just start to unravel. Just take a breath. And then what feels right for you here? So you might close the eyes. It might feel like, actually, I could spend a little bit longer with the legs here. You might feel like absolutely not. And you take the feet forwards. I'm just going to take what we call a rebound. So it's a little moment where we just decide what the shape might be. And then we just let everything settle from the stretch before. And then we're going to sweep the feet to one side, knees to the other. So just take your time. We'll bring the hands forwards and pop the knees onto the earth so we find a tabletop position. So fingers are nicely spread. Your knees might be hip distance or a little bit wider if you need that to accommodate. And just start to shift the hips from side to side. So maybe you close your eyes here. And of course, as you move the hips, the connection to the rest of the body will happen. You might find that your head and neck are moving, or they might be more still. Just let a natural rhythm occur. And then let's come back to a neutral spine. So that kind of feels like we're drawing the belly button up into the low back, interacting with the core a little bit. The crown of the head is forward, so we're not crushing through the neck with the shoulders. Then as we breathe in, we let the belly button start to dip down towards the ground as the tailbone comes to the sky, and we lift the chin slightly. As we breathe out, we push the earth away, start to arch the spine to the sky and look to the heart. So that's our kneeling version of cat-cow. So just continue like that. A couple more rounds. It might be nice and fluid, or you might find that it's a little bit more clunky, and that's fine. And then find your way back to neutral. From here, we'll take the hands forward slightly. Keep your arms shoulder width apart as best you can. We'll take the knees back slightly. We want the bum and the hips and knees just nicely in line. We drop down onto the forearms. The seat lifts high, so we're compressing the lower spine at this point. You might take a block or a bolster if that feels like enough and just pop the head down. Keep your elbows on the earth, but maybe slide the fingertips forwards, and you'll feel that your chest starts to release to the earth while your bum stays nice and high. So this has got lots of different names: melting heart, anahata asana. Anahata is our heart puppy pose, like a stretching puppy. So take a couple of breaths here. Just kind of feel into how this is immediately. Keep the toes on the earth or the tops of the feet. And if it feels very intense in those first couple of breaths, you might choose to cross the arms and catch hold of opposite elbows or forearms. So you've got that little element of support there. Again, we're going to take 2 minutes, well, around a minute and a half left, but you don't have to stay here. So I kind of encourage you to not give up, as it were. So sometimes the mind's just like, oh, no, F this. So if that happens, you might be like, no, I'm just going to give it a little bit longer, a few more breaths. The only time we kind of feel like, yeah, instantly we're going to back away is if we start to feel pain, really kind of strong spasms of any kind. Then we'll start to back away and we'll find ourselves in a seat. 1 more minute left here. As you exhale, just let the forehead, the chest start to dip down to the ground. The hips are high, the spine is long. So it's both a kind of forward fold and a back bend position. We're opening up into the front of the body and the back of the body. Nice steady breath. Last couple of breaths. Let's start to walk the hands in towards us. Just take your time. Bring the knees a little bit together if that feels okay. I'm going to bring the bum down onto the heels. You might close the eyes. Just take a couple of breaths there. If that feels very intense, having the bum on the heels, we could sit on our bolster, our blanket, our block, just to kind of give ourselves a little bit of cushioning. Try and keep the spine nice and long, the shoulders soft. And from here, we're going to come into what we call child's pose. So there's two main versions of this. One where we keep our knees together. So for me in this version, I just need to gather absolutely everything available. And then we try and keep the bum as close to the heels as we can. We bring the forehead down. We relax the arms by the side of the body. For others, we'll take the knees wider. And we might draw this bolster just kind of into the front line of the knees so that when we come down, we can give it a nice hug. We're pushing the bum back towards the heels and laying the chest and the forehead down. So you find your way. The gentle, depends on your body. I think for you, probably knees apart for now. But as you go forward, we go back, then you might find that, yeah. So again, we're going to take 2 minutes here. You could come onto the side of the head or face as long as the neck feels that that's okay. If not, we'll rest on the forehead. We're just trying not to squash the nostrils. So we want to have this space for breath. As you exhale, you can't do it wrong, honey. You can put your arms forwards if that feels more comfortable, like you've got on here. So we'll just relax our arms wherever they are, whether that's by the side of the body or reaching forwards. You might take a nice deep breath in and just take a out. So wherever we can soften, we encourage that. Some of our positions in stretch or in Yin Yoga are more intense. So they're a little bit more active, let's say. Some are softer. So this one for some people will feel softer, not for everyone. We're all different. We're going to take 1 more minute here. So you could always turn the gaze to the other side if you were on one side of the head or neck, but that's up to you. And just try and maintain that connection with perhaps your breath. Or your body might kind of be saying, hey, feel this. Specific part of the body might be like, oh, it's quite intense here. Or, oh, I could just up the intensity slightly here. Last couple of breaths, doing really well. Let's slowly start to tip ourselves forwards into tabletop maybe, or walk the hands back and bring the bum onto the heel. And then maybe again, just close the eyes, decide what would feel good for you here. So some people, it might be you just want to continue that stillness and sit. You might be on the hands and knees and you might feel like you just want a little sway or a couple of cat and cows. So it's up to you. There's no right or wrong. Just going with whatever feels best. If you're unsure, then, practice will allow you to understand your body. Let's bring the seat down to the heels if we're not there already. We'll plant the hands down. Just remove anything that you are sat on. Tuck the toes. And we'll walk so that we tip onto the soles of the feet. Walk the hands back towards the toes. Take your legs as wide as you need to accommodate your body. So we're in a kind of forward fold position. We're going to breathe in, just rise up, maybe halfway. Find a little bit of space. Then as we breathe out, nice soft knees, and we let the upper body just be heavy down in between the legs. So release your neck as long as that feels okay. Just trust in the stability of the feet. Let the face muscles feel heavy. You might have a little sway here, or stillness might be what you need. So we'll take just a couple more breaths because you can get a little bit of a head rush from this for obvious reasons. Let's bring the feet back to about hip distance, maybe slightly wider. We're going to walk the hands forwards and come into downward facing dog. So the bum is up towards the sky. We're spreading the fingers, really pushing the seat upwards. We might be looking between the legs, up to the belly button. You could have a little walk out here or a little wiggle if that feels right, or perhaps it feels right to just be still. I'm not going to stay here for too much longer. Let's come down onto the knees. And we're going to step our right foot forward. So just however you make it there, could be a couple of steps, could be a stride. The right foot comes out to the right side of your mat. So if you have quite sensitive knees, which is really, really common, you might take your blanket and just pop it under that back knee. We're going to use blocks, probably, but again, we're all different. So we could come up onto the highest level of block and just lift ourselves up a little bit here. So we feel like we're putting quite a lot of load in that front leg. We could stay here, or as you exhale, you might start to just nuzzle yourself down inside this right leg. You could always have just a little gentle movement forwards and backwards. Just for a couple of breaths, just kind of loosening into the hip. See if you can keep your knee and your toes forward towards me. Let your head and face just soften. So this in some Starting yoga is called a lunge. In Yin, we call it lizard because we like to be different. We're going to take 1 minute here and then a couple of different options. So every option will be up to you to kind of decide, no, is it intense enough where I am, or am I feeling something where I am, or should I try something? Does that feel okay? Should I reverse? So it's just that constant connection to breath and body. Halfway there, this side in this version. The music's gone really dramatic, like, can you do this? So just have a little moment to think, right, where I am, how do I feel about that? And it's okay if you feel in some positions like, I hate this one. As we breathe in, we're going to lengthen the arms, bring the hands back onto the blocks. So we could stay here. We might start to turn the toes out towards the right side. So not for all of us, but you might come onto the outside edge of your right foot. Your hip is going to kind of tell you whether or not that is possible. From here, you might press down through the left hand and just gently turn to the right. So we're either on the sole of the foot and we're just taking this little twist, or we're turning onto the outside edge with our twist. So you decide, really your body will kind of decide. So this is a little bit more active. We're going to take that 1 minute here, but you've got those other options. So if you feel like, now the twist doesn't work, then you turn back round, you plant the hands down, or you can breathe out and snuggle the body back down inside that right leg. Just maintain that nice steady breath. And it's this idea of revolving the heart round. So we're lifting and turning the heart. We're halfway there. Last couple of breaths, doing really well. And as we exhale, we're going to start to turn back towards me, turn those toes forwards, and we're back in our lunge position. So the last option, which we won't hold for a minute because it is a little bit more active, your blocks are kind of less steady here. So if you want a little bit more stability, you could go second or the lowest level. You can bring your hands to the earth, but you'll find you kind of get less lift in your body. We're going to tuck the back toes and see if we can just lift that back knee. We might have a little bend in the knee. We might just get the bolster and have a little cheeky support of the bolster, or we might slide the toes back. We've still got this front knee and heel in line. We're not scrunching the shoulders, just taking the head forwards. And we're going to take maybe 5 breaths in whatever version we decide. As you exhale, drop that left knee down. Step your right foot back and just extend it away behind you. You might have a little push into the ball of the foot. Taking a breath there. Bring the knees back to tabletop. Do you need a wiggle here? Do you want to pop back down into your child's pose? Do you want to come to a seat? It's completely up to you. Are you warm, Michelle? Yeah, okay, just because that heat is on, but it is on quite low. I just don't want you to be like, So we're going to pause just to take whatever we need here, and then we'll repeat that through the other side. Just soften into the parts that you can. Maintaining that nice steady breath. And steadily, let's find our way back into tabletop. From here, we're stepping that left foot forward. So however we make it there is fine. We take it wide, so we've got lots of room for the body. Let's take the blocks onto our higher level, just so we can lift up through the heart, support the back knee if we need it. And then as we exhale, we're just nuzzling down, letting the head be heavy. You will generally find that one side of the body kind of comes down a little bit lower than the other, so you might need blocks on different levels. Keep the knee and the toes just pointing towards me for this first little bit. So let's take our minute here. Again, there's options. So if we feel like this isn't for us, we could draw back up. We could step back into tabletop. You might want to come to child's pose. Halfway there. Just starting to feel into how is this position for us, and each side will be different. We might be carrying injury, trauma, lots of different things on one side. If we want to, we'll just stay as we are. Or as we breathe in, we're just pressing and lifting back up. We could stay here. We might start to turn the left toes out. We'll keep the foot to the earth. Or if this side allows, we might just steadily come to the outside edge of the foot. Right hand presses down. And we're not pushing to open this side. The turn and the twist of the body will allow this side to open a little bit. Just gently rolling the heart. If that feels like a no, we could loosen off through the twist, or we could come back to center. We're going to take our minute here. We might add props, take them away. So in a lot of ways, this is, a challenging practice, more so than if we're like in a boom, boom, boom kind of flow class. Those ones, boom, boom, boom. Oh. Got to be patient. We're experiencing quite a lot through the body. There's time for the mind to kind of switch on and kick in if we're people with busy minds, which most of us are. As you exhale, start to turn back towards me. We plant that left foot down. We might adjust our props. Lifting that back knee, we could slide the toes away, push the heel away, so stretching through the hamstring, or we might drop the knee onto the earth or a bolster. Keep the neck nice and long. I'm going to take those 5 breaths here. Exhale, drop that back knee down. We can sweep the front foot back, extend it down onto your mat, tiptoe the earth, and just have a little stretch into that leg. And then what do you need here? So just decide whether you need a little bit of stillness, child's pose, tabletop and a wiggle, up to you. Might be something else entirely. These are just suggestions. And let's walk the hands back in towards us. Come to sit the bum onto the heels. Again, we could have a bolster between the knees. We might take a blanket and just pop it underneath the bum. So just a kneeling position. We're getting a nice stretch down the front of the legs. As we breathe in, we'll keep the spine long. Just tilt the chin up to the sky. And as you breathe out, tuck the chin down to the chest. Just continue like that. A couple more. So you've got full control of the head and neck. And let's bring the head back to center. As you exhale, drift the right ear to the right shoulder. Breathe in, we come to center. Breathe out, just lull it over to the left. And just continue like that for a couple more. If generally your head and neck is okay, you might make some little circles. So again, we've got full control of the head and neck. We're not throwing it back in any way. Just loosening through the jaw, the neck. You might even feel it down into the scapula and your shoulder blades. And let's just find a neutral position. So last little bit before we come down to relax, you've got some essential oil. It'll be rosemary or lavender. Most of them are lavender. It hasn't got any nuts mixed in with it in case you've got nut allergies. So you might just take a little bit into the hands. Whoa, overlap. Or loads as the case may be. Give it a rub if anyone needs any spare lavender. So we rub a scent to kind of warm it up, then take a sniff. And then if you've got loads of it all over you, like me, you might just rub it into the arms, your feet, the back of the neck, the kind of areas around the jaw, a little acupressure point, just in that dip behind the earlobes. So we're always careful with our acupressure points. We don't prod, we just gently, smoothly rub. And from there, we're going to come down onto the earth. So have everything beside you, your bolster, blanket, eye pillow, so that once we're down there, we can just relax. If you need to put layers on, pop some layers on. And we'll meet on the earth with a nice flat back. So we'll pop our feet to the earth to help with that. Let the knees knock inwards, the feet step wide. Chin is slightly tucked into the chest. Horse eye, whatever you want. If you feel like there is anything else that you need to do here, stretch out, bring the knees in, rock them from side to side. Remember that little twist that we practiced at the start? Give your body a little squeeze. So they're all just suggestions. And again, if you're kind of like, I don't really know, it comes with time. And then you might pop a bolster back behind the knees. If you're on the side of the body, you might have a bolster between the knees or the thighs. So you decide where you would be most comfortable. You might cover yourself with a blanket, or you might use the blanket as a little pillow. You've got your eye pillow. Just wave if you're not warm enough, and I can come and cover you with another blanket. Chin is tucked slightly into the chest. Maybe you close down the eyes if you haven't already. Take a nice deep breath in and an audible. So the last part of our practice is rest. And it involves just a small part of something we call Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra is a deep relaxation technique. So you don't need to move the body unless you feel that you need to. We're just going to take our awareness on a journey around the body. So it's like your mind has this light or spark of awareness, and we just place it on each part or area as it's named. If for any reason you need to come away from the Yoga Nidra practice, just gently blink the eyes open. Take a nice deep breath. Just remind yourself where you are. And then you might choose to just stay with the eyes open, or you might reclose the eyes and slip back into this. Let's bring awareness to the crown of the head, into the forehead, the eyebrows, the temples, and the space between the brows, the ears, the tip of the nose, the breath in the nostril, the lips, the chin, and the jawline. Become aware of the throat and the dip in the throat space. Maybe you swallow. Awareness to the shoulders, down the arms as you allow them to become a little bit more heavy. Past the elbows, into the wrists, the back of the hand, the palm of each hand, and the fingertips and thumbs. Bring awareness back to the crown of the head. And down the back of the head, into the shoulder blade, down the spine, past the ribs, into your glutes. And the lower part of your body just starts to feel comfortably heavy. The thighs, knees, lower legs, ankle, heel, soles of the feet, tips of the toes. As you exhale, this softness spreads down the whole of the front of your body. And then down the back of your body. Like you're just being held and supported by the head, the face, the arms, the hands, the legs, the feet, the whole of your physical body, all connected, all resting. Nothing else to do but rest. You naturally breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a deeper breath in and out. And if you can, keep your eyes closed just for as long as you can. It's like a way of just savoring and holding on to that calm in your practice. As you very slowly start to bring a little bit of movement to your body, in whichever way feels best for you. There's no rush. If you've got a very kind of quiet night this evening, or you are hoping for a little bit of quiet energy, you might consider rolling to the left of the body. So that is your yin side, your lunar side. If you feel like you need a little bit of an energy boost, or you're heading out to party to a discotheque, Then you might roll to your right. If you can't decide, just give yourself a little roll from side to side and feel where your weight goes. Pause there. And the last thing is just a very short concentration practice. It's going to take a minute of calm before we go out into the busyness of the road. So push into the earth, just start to bring yourself up. Grab what you need to find a seated position that works for you. Seated is not always comfortable, so just as comfortable as it can be. Keep the spine tall, the shoulders soft. Just rest the hands wherever it works. You might close the eyes. And you could just focus on breathing in and breathing out. Maybe the seat to the earth. Or you might even have a word, something that you would like your weekend to be. Peaceful, calm, fun, grounded, abundant. And let's just take 1 minute, just do your best. If it feels right, you could place the hands onto the heart space. You could press the palms together in what we call namaskar. And we close our practice with just a single Om. So Om is the primordial sound. You could Om, you could you could just take in the vibration. It's totally up to you. We'll take a breath in a moment, and as we breathe out, we Om. Nice deep breath. Deep inhale. Exhale, you might bow the head to the heart, just acknowledging and thanking yourself. We also thank each other for sharing our practice, our evening, our energy. And of course, thank you for trusting me to guide you. Hope your weekend is filled with whatever you need. The light and dark in me honors the light and dark in you. Namaste.